got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection. I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through them.
Welcome back to another episode of the Problems on Problems podcast. I am your host, Mike Santee. And this week, first of all, welcome back from whatever holiday slump you were in. You might still be feeling it. I know I'm feeling it, especially this week. But yeah, man, how was Thanksgiving? I know we did some like in advance Thanksgiving, blah, blah, blah. But now I'm here to tell you everything that happened on Thanksgiving. Where to start? I mean, first of all, if you're trying to skip to whatever this episode's about, I'll put the timestamp. Probably not. I'm too lazy this week. We'll see what happens. But yeah, we might put the timestamp. I might put the timestamp. You never know. But Thanksgiving, the travel part, I will say this might have been like the first time that I was worried about the pandemic for 5 seconds. And then that all went away when I realized Mike might be immune. This sounds stupid during a pandemic, but hear me out. I've been in contact with people that have tested positive, and every time I take a test, it comes back negative. And this past weekend was my third test, and that's because someone I hung out with the week before said, hey, I tested positive, and I was like, I don't feel any type of way about it. Got the test done. Yeah, be 7 days. It's incubating period. Who knows? I'm not a doctor. All I know is that every time Mike follows the rules, he does everything. People around him test positive. He tests negative. We're not going to start talking about blood types and everything like that. I just think I might possibly be somewhat immune to this. But that doesn't mean I'm going to be reckless. So fear not, faithful citizens of, the world. We're not just going to be out here doing all willy-nilly stuff. I don't like how I feel about that. But TSA was easy, depending on your airport, I guess, and depending on what time you're traveling. I traveled on the day before Thanksgiving, which is historically one of the busier travel days in the year. And it didn't feel that bad. I showed up about an hour before my flight left, made it through security maybe 20-30 minutes, despite TSA agents telling me that my line was going to take an hour 45. Don't believe the hype. Unless you're rushing to catch a flight, in which case, believe the hype, because you never know. They could be telling you the truth. I think my lady was just trying to go off easy. I won't tell you which airport in Charlotte that I flew out of. Process of elimination. Come on, guys. But yeah, getting on and off the plane was also super easy. Like the boarding process and deplaning had not changed at all, at least since the last time I've been out there. And you know what though? Play the side tangent music. People. I don't understand how adults in today's society have a hard time following instructions. Pretty simple instructions. On every flight that I was on, there was an announcement made by the flight attendant towards the end as we were landing, as we were arriving at the gate, taxiing to the gate, whatever you want to call it, that basically said, hey, it's a pandemic. Y'all are crammed on this plane anyways. To space us out as much as possible, we just ask that you wait until the row in front of you clears out before you get into the aisle. And without a doubt, every time that we landed, 10 or 15 people legit just said, screw it. We don't care. We're going to be in the aisle regardless, regardless. Doesn't matter that the gate hasn't opened or the gate bridge, whatever it is. I don't work on planes, but it doesn't matter that that's even been attached to the plane. It doesn't matter that the door is still closed. All that good stuff. Just flood on into the aisle because you have somewhere to be, which I doubt it was a connecting flight because they'll delay stuff for you. They're not going to leave without you if it's a connecting flight. Calm down. And if you're trying to get picked up, you're already here. Chillax. But yeah, it amazes me how it doesn't actually. It doesn't amaze me how people fail to follow simple instructions, because people don't care. And on top of that, I guess another side tangent or anything, we're not going to do two back-to-back side tangents. We're just going to continue on the same one. Some states, northern states, have to do better. I'm not saying where I went because I'm not trying to bring that down on me. I'm just saying, if your health form that should be checked by, I don't know, you say a state compliance agent is filled out online and nobody's really checking it, do you think I'm going to be that serious about the form? Number one, it asks you about border states. Because I transferred, or I had a stop in a city that was in a state that was a border state to this state that was asking about stuff. That was really wordy and complicated. Let's just say this. Hypothetically, let's say the state was in New York and I flew into Pennsylvania. It asked me if I was traveling from a border state, which technically, yes, Pennsylvania is it. Not even technically. Pennsylvania is a border state to New York State. And so in that case, smart ass Mike was like, yeah, I'm traveling from a border state, in which case the system automatically says you do not have to quarantine. They don't care where you came from before that, whether it was an hour before that, 20 minutes before that, or even 2 weeks before that. They just don't care. Also, no one at the gate, like when you arrive, is checking these. They're just checking to see you got a green check mark on you screenshot a green check mark, which could be sent to God knows who. It doesn't matter. But basically, as far as that state's concerned, Captain Crunch landed there and he's living at 123 Main Street, and the National Guard that checked my phone saw a green check mark and let me into the state, no problem. That's problem number one with this pandemic. It's probably like problem number 500, but you get the deal. So garbage forms, got in and out of the state like it was nothing. I'm not telling you what state it was. Did all that stuff to spend time with family, which, newsflash or announcement, guys, I'm famous to a 2-year-old. My nephew is, I don't know. He basically just he gets hype over the intro.
Problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through them.
If you didn't see my stories this weekend, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I'll show them again some other time, but I've never seen a more direct response to a song since Baby Shark. And I'm not saying my intro is great or anything like that. If anything, it could use a lot of work, but to watch this child, as soon as, it doesn't matter what he's doing, but as soon as you start playing that intro music, problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through them. He immediately looks for wherever the noise is coming from. And then, this part gets my heart every time. Then he starts yelling, Tío Mike, which, for those of you that don't speak Spanish, Tío is uncle in Spanish. So, Uncle Mike, Tío Mike, every time. My parents absolutely hated it because he would come into the house, disregard them that take care of him basically multiple times per week, and immediately say, Tío Mike, and look for me. This is why Mike's going to be a great uncle. Father, who knows if kids are in my future, but at least uncle, your boy got the belt of favorite uncle so far. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, got to visit some relatives that I hadn't seen in a while, some that I may not ever get to see again. And all in all, it was a good time, but I realized something within it was a really short time. I think I flew in Wednesday night, basically landed at 11, flew out Saturday morning because I had something else to work on here in Charlotte Saturday afternoon. And in that time, I kind of realized that I more or less have designed my life in Charlotte to provide me with the least amount of mental effort and the maximum amount of happiness or pleasure, whatever you want to call it. And I don't know if there's anything wrong with that, but I kind of like it. I have everything I need in this apartment. I know where to go to get food. I know it's apps to use. I know what's open, what's closed, all that good stuff. And traveling made me realize that I did not have that elsewhere. And that's okay. I'm just saying, Charlotte, you're still going to be my home for a long time because I didn't do all this work just to be chilling and then leave. So there's that. And with that, and we kind of move into, well, when I got back, very Santisteban tradition. Do you guys know my last name? If you don't, you do now. But a Santisteban family tradition, whether you are at home or away, is that the weekend after Thanksgiving, you set up all your Christmas decorations. And so, or at least you start setting up your Christmas decorations. If you're like us, you kind of like to just, if I'm going to start it, I might as well finish it same day or same weekend, depending on how much stuff you have. I got lazy, and the only thing I set up was my tree. And I say set up because, yes, I have a fake tree, an artificial tree, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't matter. We'll talk about that next week. Maybe it'll be part of the debate. But yeah, apartment life is not really conducive to new trees. Plus, investment-wise, you just make your money back on a fake tree so fast. Mainly because unless you're like trashing it, I've had this now for about 7 years. I feel like it's on its last leg, but it surprises me every year. But yes, I've had it for 7 years and it still lights up. It's 7.5 feet tall, so it fits into most of my apartments, no problem. It doesn't look like it's too big or too small. Just right. The Goldilocks of trees. Hate myself. But with that brings the idea that this will be my third Christmas in my adult life alone. And that's not a bad thing. I think for some people, it's kind of different. I know for me, this will be, so 2017, 2019, and 2020. Adult Mike is alone for Christmas, and I'm okay with it. Obviously, prior to 2017, I was married. If you don't know about that, and we're in episode 18 now, go check episode 1. That's a thing. So 2017 was the first one post-divorce or post-separation, whatever you want to call it, separation, technically. That one was weird because basically I felt as though my life had gone to, we're deep enough in there. I felt like my life had gone to shit. Quickly realized it didn't. It was just like a low point in life, but it's okay. We move on. 2019, also post-relationship. So yeah, maybe that's why. Mike, you need to chill in the relationships around Christmas time or even breaking up around holidays. Not like I did either time, but we'll move on. Both of them were just kind of these like weird low points of my life where I was pretty sad. Bring on daylight savings and all that stuff where it's getting dark stupid early, which a whole other thing on that. I'm not even going to start a side tangent, but like, why do we have daylight savings? It's so annoying. But yes, so I had that going on, and it kind of made me think how like there are a lot of people out there, not even just relationship wise, just who may be single, who may be away from family, from loved ones and everything like that, that the holidays can be kind of tough. And to those people, I say, hey man, it gets better. I also don't think it's that bad. I don't want to invalidate your feelings of being sad on the holidays. I'm saying it's probably not the worst thing to be alone on the holidays. It's sure you want to see family and stuff like that. I know for me, the reason why I'm not doing it is because it's just the cost of going back home for the holidays doesn't really, the cost reward isn't there, in the sense that I talk to my family enough, I see them enough, I make sure I visit at least once a year, that I'm FaceTiming, that I'm staying in contact with them. I'm sure that my parents, my mom, would like me to be more involved, but there's only so much time that I could making excuses. I'm involved at the level that I want to be involved in with my extended family. Even direct family, like my parents and my siblings, I feel like I do a pretty good job of like staying in touch with all of them, staying up to date with all of them. So I'm okay not going back every holiday. The winter holidays, Christmas in particular, it's also just stupid expensive to go back home. Like 3 times the price to go back home. Why would I ever do that? Throw into the fact that like up until lately, work-wise, I was always low man on the totem pole, so everybody was taking off for Christmas and I was stuck working. But yeah, all those things combined just lead to the fact that I was either here with the family of significant others or these last couple years alone, and I'm kind of okay with it because it's who I am. But for those of you that aren't okay with it, a couple things you can do. Number one, don't be quiet about it. Like, I know there's probably a part of you that feels as though you reaching out to friends for Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, holiday festivus plans, you feel like you're kind of like a burden on them. And I would say, like, honestly, if you are, hopefully you're close enough with your friends or good enough or have good enough friends where they would like tell you like, hey, we're doing X, Y, and Z, so we can't bring you with us, something like that. But yeah, don't kind of like shy away from saying that you're going to be alone for the holidays, because a lot of people will invite you. I'm not saying that's like what you should do, but I'm just saying that a lot of people would invite you if they knew that you were going to be alone, because they don't want you to be alone, because they like you and they love you. Another thing you could do is volunteer. I don't know why it looks like I just pulled that out of thin air. I had that one prepared. But yeah, you could volunteer. That's a thing, especially for the less fortunate. It kind of reminds you like how good, oh jeez. It reminds you that there are those who are less fortunate than you, and it kind of puts into perspective the things that you should and should not be thankful for. Really just the things that you should be thankful for. But yeah, and on top of that, just be okay with being alone. Like, it seems weird, but like the better you are at being alone, the better you are at being alone. The better you are at being alone, the more comfortable you are with times like this. And if anything, just remember that being with people or who you spend time with during the holidays is only part of it. And the other part of it is, I don't know, the rest of it is in your heart. I hate that. I'm a Grinch. I'm literally an adult Grinch. I can't believe this. So what we'll do, like always, we'll play the commercial. We'll do the whole POP thing. And then, side note, not a whole side tangent. I'm trying to get my nephew to do the POP thing. So once I can teach him how to say words like that, we'll be good to go. But if anybody has nephews that can do that, keep them to yourself. I don't want them. Oh, this episode is going downhill so fast. Okay. POP, and we're back. I'm back. I don't know why I say that. Let's get started with the great debate / the food debate. It's still working title. Who knows? Last week we talked about better Thanksgiving side, mac and cheese versus mashed potatoes. And I would say overwhelmingly, 76% of you said it was mac and cheese. This week, I'm going to be selfish. I posted this Monday when the day of filming. I posted this Monday and I really wanted to know Christmas decoration. For me personally, I was going traditional versus navy and gold for the purposes of this debate. Traditional versus changing it up. Do you do the normal red, green, I guess throw gold in there, maybe silver, who knows? But your red and greens, your traditional Christmas colors. Or do you like to switch it up a bit? Do you go the navy and gold? Do you do a red and silver? Do you do something different? Let me know. Answer the polls. Holler at me in the comments. Holler at me in the DMs. You know what to do. And with that, the last segment in our show are the Friday follows. This week, we're going to give a shout out to Lunchbox Records, my favorite record store in Charlotte. There's yet to be a time that I look for something that they don't have. They're always super helpful. During the pandemic, they have updated their online presence so that you can order online from there. But don't forget to follow them at Lunchbox Records. The individual, the juggernaut that we are shouting out this week is Katie Levans. Gosh, we'll start off with all the good things that I would say. Former co-founder of the Charlotte Agenda, which a lot of you follow. A lot of you get your news about Charlotte things from there. She had her hands in that. She's also the author of Into the Dark, which is an 8-week series on finding the light for people that hate winter. Really good, especially if you're going to feel alone for the holidays. Other than that, though, like, she's killing it. She's got vintage clothes. She's building up God knows how many other companies. And I can honestly say she's one of the few people in Charlotte, or at least around where I live, that is truly intimidating. I've seen her walk her dog countless times, and never once have I been able to say, hey, like even just a smile or a wave. It is just head down. Let me keep going, because I don't know why I'm outing myself while saying this. So there you go. But yeah, go follow her at Katie_Levans on Instagram. You can go to her website. But yeah, guys, with that, we're done. We don't got to worry about anything else this week. Hopefully you guys have a good week, had a good week, are going to have a good week whenever you see this. Other than that, guys, like I always say, if it's not a good time, hope it's a good story, and I will see you next week.
Bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The foe and affection. I summon and dumb it. Cause bitch, I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money. The pressure be calling. Left on my blessings. I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage. I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The foe and affection. I summon and dub it. Why you be